Well, folks, it's been a rough few days here at my house. I don't have COVID. I don't have the flu, thankfully, but I have had a really severe sinus infection. It's almost took me under. At times, it felt like I had the flu, and it's been pretty rough. But I've been taking my medicine. I'm on antibiotics now, and I've been drinking plenty of water, and I appreciate everyone so much for reaching out and checking on me and all your well wishes. I'm doing a lot better today, knock on wood. I hate to say that. I don't want to jinx myself, because a couple of times I'm like, yeah, I'm back, I'm okay, and then I tend to go right back down. But at the moment, right now as we speak, I'm up and back at it, and I feel really good to be back up and at it, because I didn't realize just how much that I really lean on doing this kind of content. I know that everyone has told me, well, hey, you need a mental break, and we all do. But I just feel like that this election cycle is so important that to sit on the fence for any amount of time is just, it was getting to me. So when I saw this next bit of news, I was very glad to see it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't shocked when I heard this, but I was just glad that he said it out loud. Bruce Springsteen has endorsed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I've always had a ton of respect for Bruce Springsteen, and I always knew that he was on our side of things. But I really feel as though now, more than ever, is the time that everyone just needs to tell us which side they're on. And I want to talk more about that as this video rolls on. But let's take a look at the boss, and then we'll talk more about it.
Hi, I'm Bruce Springsteen. Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections. And with full knowledge that my opinions no more or less important than those of any of my fellow citizens, here's my answer. I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president, and opposing Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Here's why. We are shortly coming upon one of the most consequential elections in our nation's history. Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment. It doesn't have to be this way.
He's right, it doesn't have to be this way, but it is, unfortunately, because Donald Trump came along and he appealed to the absolute worst of people. He really did. And he brought out the worst in everybody. I've never seen anything like it. We always knew where the bully was. We always knew where the pricks was and the assholes were. But Trump all of a sudden got a hold of good people that we thought were good people anyway. And we started seeing a side of them we'd never seen before. We started hearing them be okay with things we would have never thought they would have stood for. I was telling my mom earlier, I was like, if you could have given me a crystal ball, there's certain people in my life that I would have said, no, they'll never go for that. If it comes down to it, they'll never go for it. But then we've sat back and watched them go for it. And they've done so because he empowered that hatred. And it's just been so disheartening to watch them fall for this stuff and give him a pass for saying he wants to be dictator on day one, being okay with him saying he wants to terminate the Constitution, and then get mad at us for saying that he's a threat to democracy. And I'm sure they'll get mad at what Springsteen says next, but it's just the truth. Trump is the most dangerous candidate we've ever had. Take a look.
Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone, regardless of class, religion, race, your political point of view, or sexual identity. And they want to grow our economy in a way that benefits all, not just a few like me on top. That's the vision of America I've been consistently writing about for 55 years.
He's spot on there, folks, which he usually is. And like I said at the start of the video, I'm not surprised that Springsteen would endorse Kamala Harris, but I'm really glad that he just went ahead and said it out loud. Because I really believe right now, more than ever, people needs to speak up. And I know there's a lot of people that says to musicians and entertainers, well, you guys should just shut up and sing. And we've talked a whole lot about that here on the channel. And I've always said they only say that to the people they disagree with. But right now, if you are an artist or a musician or an entertainer and you do have a big platform and you're not speaking up or saying something, then I'm losing respect for you, to be honest. especially if you're sitting back watching this thing and you disagree with Donald Trump. If you see the threat that he poses to democracy, and you see, like Springsteen said, you see the disdain that he has for our way of government and our system and our democracy, and you just sit back and don't say anything because you don't want to piss off nobody, because you don't want to alienate your audience, because you're afraid you might lose some money or you might lose a follower. If you're sitting back knowing what he is and seeing through what he is and not saying nothing, then I can't respect you at all. There's no way. Because right now it's the most important election we've ever had, because our democracy has never been more threatened and it's never been more on the line than it is right now. We have someone like Springsteen said, who just has such a disdain for everything about us that he went out of his way to say, I have to have full immunity in order to be able to do my job. I have to break every rule in the book in order to lead you. And a guy sitting back talking about mass deportations, talking about, people poisoning the blood, talking about being a dictator on day one and terminating the Constitution. It's not as simple as, well, some people likes Kamala and some people likes Trump. It's not that simple. And if you think it's that simple, then you're truly not paying attention. You're truly not looking around and paying attention to what's going on. It's not as simple as Democrat versus Republican. It's not as simple as left versus right. We're not sitting here arguing over how high the minimum wage should be. If that was the argument, yeah, we can agree to disagree on that. And I'm still going to be your friend when it's over. But if I'm sitting here trying to take up for people and you're telling me that they're poisoning the blood, I can't respect that statement. I can't respect you sitting back and laughing and joking when George Floyd had a knee in his neck. I can't respect you saying, well, he should have just complied. I can't respect you crucifying people in your part of the world that tried to speak up for other people. I can't have no respect for that. We're not sitting here having a debate about who's going to pay for the health care or should the highway come through. That's not what we're talking about. This is not it. We're in a completely different argument. So if you're so naive that you think, well, some people have difference of opinion, man. Some people likes it this way. It's not that simple. It's truly not. And I don't know that I respect the people that says that stuff either, because it's like, if you're not paying attention, what the hell's wrong with you, really? Seriously. I mean it. What is wrong with you that you wouldn't pay attention? How can you just sit and go through your daily routine on a daily basis, and your country has the potential to burn to the ground right in front of you? You don't see it. You're not paying attention. And then you're going to sit back when it's all over and done with. And here's my argument. I've made this argument ever since Trump's been around. Once he doesn't need his supporters anymore, they're really going to learn who he truly is. They ain't figured it out yet. But once he doesn't need them anymore, then they will fully understand what we've been saying this entire time. And I guarantee you they'll be more mad at us for pointing it out than they will him for taking every right they ever had away. But that's where we're at. So I just say, let us know which side you're on. And if you're for Trump, go ahead and say it. You might as well. But don't sit there on the fence. Don't sit there quietly and then say, well, I don't know if that was smart on Springsteen's part. He might alienate some people. Listen, Springsteen didn't alienate anyone because we all knew where the boss stood. Everyone knew. Everyone in his crowd knew exactly what he was about. And that's why I said at the start of the video that I have mountains of respect for him. To tell you the God's honest truth, I've not really listened to a whole lot of Springsteen. I love the album Nebraska. Love that album. I've listened to that album over and over. His other stuff, I could take it or leave it. But I respect the fact that he's always stood up for what he believed in, and he never backed down. He never gave a damn who he alienated. That's what I've always respected. And so I've always said, yeah, I'm a fan of Springsteen, even though I only own one album. I own Born in the USA. Who doesn't? But you know what I mean? Like, I respect the fact that he's always stood up for what he believed, and I think more people should. And if you're sitting back on the fence right now, just being quiet, wanting to set this one out, I can't respect that at all. But folks, I thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting what it is that I do every day. And I thank you guys so much for the well wishes. I think, doing these videos now, getting back in the saddle, I can feel a little bit of wear on my voice, but it's good to get it back flowing. It's good to get those juices back flowing again. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And we're headed toward 500,000 subscribers. I really think we can get there. I never thought we would get as far as we have, but I appreciate you guys for coming along for the ride. And yeah, let's just put our heads together and let's save our democracy once and for all.